Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Woodville here in City Skylines 2, where we're witnessing a little bit of traffic right now, which is exciting because it means that we've got a bunch of brand new people moving into the region and they need to get to places and we need to solve these issues, which means I need to revamp my whole public transportation network to now make it make sense. Guys, in the last episode, we expanded our brand new city area, which I asked you guys to give me two names for the two districts that we created. You guys did not disappoint. You did not disappoint, but I think there was like an overwhelming kind of favoritism to a couple of words. I'm going to be revealing what they are in just a moment. But basically, in today's episode, we need to sort out our public transportation. We are starting to see a little bit of traffic now appearing, especially as this region just here alone has 7,400 residents. This one over here has 2,000. So we're pushing on 10,000 before I do the rest of the zoning, which means there's a lot of people that need to get in and out of this part, or this peninsula of Woodville. Now, we do have public transportation in the form of trains. There's a fair few people waiting there. I might need to drop a third train on just to kind of make things move about. But we originally had public transport in the form of buses, which you can see are... It's very difficult to see, but you can see them kind of going around right now. We only really have one bus route. So we're going to kind of now take them all apart in a weird way. We're going to revamp them, redo them all to hopefully have a more integrated bus system. That means everybody can get anywhere via public transport. Kind of. We'll see how far we can take it. But if you are enjoying this series so far, guys, we've got some big plans coming up for Woodville in the next couple of episodes. Then make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you do get notified when each and every single episode does come out. And leave a comment saying, Seniac, you full play some more and we'll do just that. Now, we did get rid of a lot of the issues in the last episode. We've got an issue over here to do with a crime scene. Oh my goodness me, a crime has been committed at the lumberyard over there. But we placed stuff down. We got stuff like the hospital down. I put a bunch of car parks down as well, and people are really, really utilizing them. And we're now actually, at certain times of day, we make profit. It's all dependent on what time of day it is, and it all depends on what our residents are doing. Now, in our services, my biggest bill at the moment is healthcare and death care. I might slightly reduce this down to about 75-ish%. Just take a little bit of cash off on my expenses to increase how much we do earn. If I start to get more and more public health issues, then I'll raise it up. But for now, I think it should be fine. With that big hospital that we did implement, that should give us a pretty decent amount of coverage. Now, we do have traffic issues, but I don't actually want to solve the traffic just yet in terms of road infrastructure. I want to see what I can do with public transportation before I do anything revolving around the road infrastructure. So let's start with this then. But before we do, you guys want to know what names I've picked for these two brand new areas? Well, before I do, I want to actually reposition where they end. I want to get rid of you for just a second. This is going to end, and I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to move it to... Let me get rid of you, get rid of you, to there. That's where I'm going to have it. And then this one, and you'll understand why in just a moment. I'm choosing to do it like this. Right, let's get the train station kind of incorporated. I might as well take it all the way down to here. I might as well make this go to there. Very good, very good, very good. And then bring you up to here. And then every so often, chomp it all in. Very nice. Very nice. Right. So, the reason I made it a little bit big on that one side is because this is the downtown area of this city. So, if I'm going to name the city after this part here, and the city is going to be called Redwood. Get it? The tallest trees in the world. Redwoods. Yeah? And then, of course, this would then become... downtown Redwood. This is downtown Redwood, boys. Where'd you live? Redwood. Where do you live? Oh, I live in downtown Redwood. Oh, we're neighbours. That's the conversations people are going to be having in this area. It really is. Right, now we got our names defined. Let's sort out the public transportation then. So, I'm going to do it in a couple of stages. What I'm going to do first is do local bus routes before I do town-to-town bus routes, if that makes sense. So, I'm going to start with the Redwood area over here. And I think what would be best for us to do is maybe implement a couple of bus stations. I don't want to go for the big boys. Way too big. I think we stick to the smaller ones here. They would really work out. And if I implemented the bus stations nearby, so for example, if I dropped it there, it does mean then we're going to have to lose a couple of buildings here. That's fine, but I want the bus station to be near the train station. Reason for that is it will allow me to have good transportation connections between buses and trains. Is that going to mess? Do I still have zoning here now for what I've just deleted? I don't think anything's going to build in, so of course I place down a couple of trees. So what I do is I implement a bus station there, and then all buses coming around the Redwood area or coming from a different place will inevitably also stop at a bus station for the crossover points. But I also want another bus station over here. I'm going to treat Redwood as having, even though it's two distinct areas, but I'm going to treat it as two areas. That makes sense? I'm going to put this one, do you know what? I might put this one here. Bam. There we go. It means I'm only deleting, oh, no. Can I get the building? No. No. There's a building here I've got to delete, but I can't quite get it. There we go. We got there in the end, boys. We got there in the end. Now, there is extensions we can add on to it. We can add the extra platforms. I can eventually maybe add a taxi stop in, but I don't have actual taxis. We have taxis, but I don't have taxis, my own taxis. They're coming from outside the region. That's something else that we're going to have to look at. So I've got a bus station here, and I've got a bus station there, which will crisscross over on the train stations. I will build another bus station over in this area for this train station, and one for this area here. And then that's all the bus stations I want. I want them at the train stations. So first, I'm going to build the local Redwood route, or bus route, that all it does, it kind of just goes around the whole town here, and its main purpose is to pick people up and drop them to their destination within the Redwood area, and also, more importantly, pick people up to allow them to access the train station for further journeys. So all it's going to be is a collecting loop that picks people up or drops them off, and its main goal is to get them to the train station. It's to make the train stations have a wider coverage with people getting to and from them. You see where I'm going with this? Simples, right? Simples. So we'll start with the bus shelters then. And if that's going to be our first stop, we'll keep it nice and simple. Now, I reckon we're going to get it to run down the 4-lane road, and it will go around the outskirts and then come back. But I'm going to do a counterclockwise and a clockwise loop, so we'll have two bus routes. We'll just kind of control how many buses we've got, obviously. So we got them going both directions. So if somebody wants to go there to here, they haven't got to go all the way around. They can just hop on the opposite direction, if that makes sense. So we'll start here then. No, actually, we'll start here. No, I want to do them quite often because I want it to kind of feel like, you know, an inner city vibe kind of style. So if that's there to there, I think I'll then have one here and here. Is that too far the distance? Nah, that should be okay, right? Oh no, actually, it doesn't go there. I'm an actual idiot. It don't go there because we've got the bus, the bus station's right there. Soniac, he's already messed up, guys. He's already messed up. Now, I could make it where the buses could overpass here to kind of give access there, but using the roundabout is not the end of the world. Which then makes me question this. So actually, I might put this there and there. And then do this. Oh, why does it keep moving? Also, who said anarchy can be turned on? How long's that been turned on right now? Right, anyway, I want to get rid of these bus stops. I know that one's pretty close to over there, but there, to allow me to have one there, for then this one to be the next stop. Okay, we get the gist of it now. And then we come out there. We're going to do a stop here and here. So I want it to be central to everything. We got the walking paths, as you can see, for people to access this. And then I reckon we go around the outskirts, and I'll drop there and there. So I will do waypoints. And I'm now going to do one every so often leading down. So we'll go there, turn this way round. I'll do one here and here. Now, I know there's not any zoning here whatsoever at the minute, but there will be eventually. There and there. I'll do one then here and here. We'll do one just here and here on the bend. And then we've got to figure out how it's actually then coming down to this area. So we do have the office industry here, which I think will be a good shout for another stop or two. So do I do one just... I'm going to do one there and there. And then I'm going to do one just here and here. Now, these ones are a bit close, but there's a lot more kind of people living in this section. So I'm going to give them a couple of options, not to completely overload one bus stop. So that's just a simple loop. And all that's going to do is just simply collect people from around the region here and or from the train station and bring them vice versa back and forth. It's mainly to benefit the train stations. And I'll do the same loop there. I'll do a loop over here, and then we'll look at doing the intercity bus or the town-to-town bus routes. So people can take alternative routes and not just have to rely on trains, but they can also go on trains if they wanted to. Right. Let's set a bus route up. So we're going to start here then. And we'll pick you as our first stop. Coming all the way down this way. All right, there's our first stop there. And let's go. So coming straight into here. Can I get right into this? There we go. Next route will be down to there. And then to the... Okay, it already does the waypoint that I would have wanted it to do anyway. There we go. Bam. 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 And bam. Right, that does what I want it to do. I'm going to pause the game for a second because I want to build the second route and then we'll fine-tune how many buses it's going to throw on here. So this should be very, very beneficial for this area. Now, I know we got a bunch of buses on the outskirts there, but you got to remember, in all this woodland area going down, I've still got a load of stuff to build. So eventually these bus routes on the outskirts will then start to feel like they're in the middle. Because I've got a lot of stuff, a lot of tourist destinations, a lot of park areas, walkways, buildings, whatever it may be. I've got a load of stuff to get into that area. I haven't forgotten about it. It's just got to take a little bit of time to get it all up and running. Right, you go there, and then we're down to here, to there, and then we end the route. Right, so, if I quickly go to my bus routes now, I'll make one of them red, so because it's Redwood. I get it. And then one of them, I'll make a paler red. So do they now stand out when we see them? Yes. So you can see them with relative ease. All good, all good, all good. Shouldn't be any problems. Shouldn't be any problems. Right. Very good, very good, very good, very nice, very nice, very nice. Simple. And hopefully very, very effective. So if you were here and wanted to get to like over here, you got the choice to go the long way round or the shorter route down. You still get to your points. Or get on a bus, hop on the train, bus. You know, there's many options. There's many options. So with these actual bus routes then, how is one longer than the other? I think it might take into account the way that it enters into the bus stops, because one goes in, one's got to do the loop. Yeah, the more prominent red one has to do the loop because the way it enters into the station. Right, anyway, how many buses are on these routes? So by default it wants to assign 6. I'm going to drop it down to 4 on each and then just see how we get on with that. So number 3, drop it down to 4. And we should actually rename the bus routes as well. I can change to an electric bus, but I don't really care about that. Don't really care about that too much right now. So this is going to be our Redwood Loop 1. And this one is our Redwood Loop 2. Easy enough for us to now remember. Right, so the buses will come out of this area over here. We can have up to 25 buses. I know we've got a lot of buses on the existing route, which we will have to get rid of. Now, that's just phase 1, okay? That is just phase 1 of my transportation network. I've got to do a few other loops elsewhere. So we've got a loop there. We're going to do a loop for Piper Mills, and we're going to do a loop for Derby all the way down to Beachwood. Then once I've built them 2 loops, we'll then do a bus route that goes from town to town. I'll probably do from Derby to Piper Mills, from bus station to bus station is the important one. And no, I'll do all 4 bus stations in one route. Oh, I've also got to do a route that goes up to our industrial area as well. Okay. Right. So, I want a bus station here, and it goes that way, but I could probably look towards into... Oh, can I put it here? Right, that's just made life so much easier. Right, there is a building there I've got to delete. Okay, sweet, mate, sweet. Now, we do have a couple of stops going around here. I'm actually going to get rid of the original bus route. No one's going to like this right now, but I've now just got rid of it. I'm going to delete all the original bus stops because I don't want them to impact my judgment in this area of me placing them then down. Right, is that all of them then gone in this vicinity? It is. So where can I have the bus routes go? So if we're going to start there, we can obviously utilize this as a loop. But they cross over the roundabout no matter what anyway. And they'll then go down this way. It'll be nice for them to be able to stop at the paper mill because there's a lot of employees that would need to get to and from that area. But no matter what happens, they go up. I can come down here and then they have to kind of crisscross here. Is there a way in which I can not make them... Because I've got that underpass there. Could I make an underpass here? Does it look a bit weird? It is possible, but then we've got this. Right, let me fine-tune this. Let's say I just kind of scrapped that just to there for a hot min. Right. Oh, but then again, it will have to kind of really... Right, get rid of you. Pull that in like that for just a minute. And let me see what I can do here. So, turn the anarchy off. And we'll go for a... Because the rally... Oh... Right. Move this back a bit more. Oh, we need anarchy on to do that. Right, move that to there. It could allow me to get a few more industrial buildings on if I kind of trim it a little bit. But the main focal point here is to allow this to go under. So I have another access point on this side to alleviate the roundabouts. It works. In its own way, it works. Now, do I do a T-junction? I reckon so. So that could then lead down to there. And then we'll just do a simple little bend here. Oh no, I'm deleting buildings. I'm deleting buildings, but that's okay, because we're going to get now quite a few more in. In its place. And then we'll fine-tune this back again. So bringing this all now back up. All that just so I can allow my bus route to kind of loop around the area. Interesting, right? Oh, was I going to kind of... I was going to make that stick out a bit further, wasn't I? Right, hold on. Let me. Can I just do it on the road like this? Right, do that there. And then we'll fine-tune this again. It's more visual than anything else. Right, that means I can now set up then a proper bus loop, but you can kind of see the traffic issues we are facing. So hopefully all these bus routes are going to alleviate a lot of those pressures. Right, so we'll do double bus routes around here. Now, not all of the roads are going to be able to squeeze in. I don't think any of these roads are going to be able to squeeze in the shelter. We're going to have to go for the normal stops. So we're going to come out there. We'll go down this way, to which we will have a double stop here and here. I'll then do a double stop here and here. I'll come down for the double stop just here and here. So 3 stops there, and then we're running through this area then. So as it comes down here and into this side, we'll do a double stop there and there. And then it's going to turn in down to here, which I'll throw a double stop there and there. So all within walkable distances. Then I'll do a... Oh, this is an interesting one now. So if I go ahead and did a stop there and there... See, these, can I upgrade them to shelters? We can upgrade these to shelters. I'll do a stop then here and here. And I'll also do a stop there and there just before we go out. I'm going to make sure that we've got walkable paths to connect so it makes it easier. So it goes round through there, and then we're going to hit the highway to stop just down here. Now... I won't say add one of these in here, but is there a better way in which I can kind of do a bus stop? So if I was to do something like this, right, just bear with me on this. Just for the funsies, I'll add a normal stop just there. Actually, which side of the road do they drive on again? So no matter which way they come in, they've got to drive into here. So if I put it on that side, and they can share the same side. Or do I make them have different ones just so I can kind of see the demand in different directions? Yeah. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but hit there, straight down. So then I'll give them a double stop here and here for the school, and then they're back again. Right, I think I've got this. I think I've got this right now, so we're going in this direction. Leading in. All the way up. Bam. Bam. There we go. And coming in this way. I don't know if I want to do separate ones, the more I look at it. I'll decide it on this next loop. Right, let me pause. So I can create the next one going back the opposite way. So if this is coming in, it would go this way in. Now, do you know what? We'll keep them separate. Because I can then see the demand on each side of the road. And who's wanting to go where more than the other. We won't even see that many people wanting to go anywhere. It's just, I've got it in anyway. There we go. And then to there. Right, so that's another loop there done. So loop there, loop there. One more loop here. Then we'll do bus station to bus station to bus station. As we do an intertown loop. And they don't need to go anywhere else because we have a secondary loop for them to utilize. So these, I'll keep them blue. Blue's fine, but I'll make this one a bit of a darker blue. Do they now stand out? Oh, okay. Blue might be the wrong color because it's a little bit more difficult to see. So I'm going to go yellow. And we'll go for a more orangey color. That's better to see, isn't it? Yeah. So let me just quickly sort these out. So this is Piper Mills, by the way. So Piper Mills loop 1. Piper Mills loop 2. Now we won't need as many buses on this one. So I might do the minimum. We'll do the minimum. If it's not enough, we'll come back and play around with them. But theoretically, this should make us then have less buses. Right, there we go. There we go. So I don't think we'll really see the full effect of this working until we've got the intercity lines connected in. But we are making the train lines be more desirable, as all of a sudden they can hop on a train and then once they get to their destination, hop on a bus to go where they want to go to. But there is a lot of vehicle traffic right now tearing through this area, so yeah, we've got to sort this out dramatically. I think because we got rid of the bus route as well, that the first one we built, that's now made everybody want to now decide to utilize, or not to utilize, sorry, to drive themselves. Why is this not elevated? Right, let me sort this out real quick. So this is a 4-lane highway, isn't it? That needs to be elevated. There we go. Because of the path. But I was about to say, I might need to kind of do something here, but I don't think I need to, because we're going to make it down to Beachwood. I can make it utilize that as the loop. But we'd also have to kind of go down to the bottom as well. Right, let's sort out the bus station. So, small bus station. And where do I make it go? I'm trying to make it turn. There we go. So, if I had it just here, it's going to oof off. Or do I put it this side? I'll put it this side. I'll put it that side there. Right, that's going to not be very favourable for that building there. Let me delete it and it'll rebuild back in. I'll drop down a couple of trees to kind of bridge the gaps. There's a couple of trees there I can now delete. And I've got to also delete the bus stops. Now, apparently the road connection's not working very great there. We'll come back and fix that in just a minute. Was that the only other bus stops? Oh, there's one over here as well. I forgot about all this, but I don't think I'm going to provide public transport to all them areas. I think I'll let them sort themselves out. Right, this is an issue apparently. I think if I replace it down with no anarchy, or maybe I do need anarchy. Okay, replacing it back down somehow solved it. I don't know why, but there we go. Right, let's sort out now the bus route down here. So if we come out here and go this way, so I'm going to make it go down this road here, to which I'll have a stop there and there. And then bringing it round, I'll have a stop there and there. I'll have a stop here and here. So all those are within walkable distances. Fingers crossed anyway. It will then run all the way down here. It will do a turn, leading down in this direction. We'll have our first stop there and there with the junction. We'll have a quick stop just here and here for the beach areas. And then running down, we'll do a stop here and here. But this is now my problem. It's a case of, do I run it all the way down and then have them turn around? Because the alternative is they've got to come across this bridge, which I'll have a stop there and there. And then I'll have my last stop just there and there as they then cross over and lead back in. Now, if I made this road here bend and connect to there, it means I could have the bus route go this way round and not have to go across the roundabout, thus alleviating some traffic issues. But this is another issue as well. I could just make them... do you know what? I'm going to do it. We'll do there and there. And I'll just do here and here. We'll make them go all the way down. Yeah. Right, this though. Because obviously they've got to turn in anyway, then they'll have to kind of come back out to cross over. But I could not have the buses do that, so the buses have a bit of free movement. Right, let me delete the road. Sorry, not the road, the path. And let me see what I can get out of this. So we'll go free movement again. Get rid of that quickly. Alright, bendy wendy. And let's say I come off that there. We extend that down a bit. And that was your bend going in. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it's because it needs a few additional road connections sticking off it to make it not look as awkward. And if it is integrated in the area, that looks really weird, that one. I think that's all that was kind of needed. And then we'll just quickly finish off the walkable path. So bring you down to there. Was there another walkable path I had to do somewhere else? It was just over here, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it's on my mind. I'll do this one and I'll reevaluate all the walkable paths then after this. Right, so that's all good. That'll go that way. I'll probably have to waypoint that. But that should work. It should also work in a sense that I'm able to squeeze in some more southwest. Oh, a beachfront prop. No, we'll go southwest house here. Could go there and small one just there. Right, that's all we're going to get out of it. Apparently there's zoning here to kind of get something out. Oh, no, there's no zoning because it's not actually touching the thing, is it? Right. There we go. Let's get this bus route in. So, new bus route. And select you. And we'll come out to here. Do you know what? I would allow them to go that way. Because then it frees up that junction a bit more. Now, these stops are quite close. But that's fine. Coming in down to here. To you. To you. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. I'll have to kind of make it go all the way down. But then it annoyingly, they're going to share the same stops. You know what I mean? Now, I could not allow them to use it and go this way. And I'm going to have to waypoint this, by the way. Back to here. So, zoomy right in. Waypoint it this way. Right, let me pause, because I got to redo all the buses and how many it drops out. Right, there we go. Down to here. There. There. And then complete. So yeah, I'm basically saying it can't go down here, which is not the end of the world. They could quite as easily just walk up. But what do you guys reckon? Do you reckon I should have made the buses go down there? Let me know in the comment section down below. But I want to do paths. Okay, I need to do a lot of paths, but let me just sort out the buses. So these new bus routes then, we will make them be pink. So I'll go pink and pink. And we'll just call this our Derby loop. So this is our Derby loop 1. And this is our Derby loop 2. So these will have... I'll give these 4 buses on each one because they also are now quite some distance that I need to travel. So 4 on each one. So I'm not sure how many buses that is in total. I'm not too sure, but let me just give it a moment right now for all the buses to leave this station. The vehicle traffic has since now died down. It comes in waves. It depends on what time of day. But let me now kind of make the areas a little bit more walkable. Like, for example, here is a great way to kind of create more connectivity. There we go. That will do, that will do, that will do. Trying to get it as walkable as I can. So it might delete some stuff, but that's fine. I did the one over here. I'm just looking at areas that really stand out. More importantly, that's all done. You could argue maybe here. Right there. To there. To there. straight down. And we've got a little path under there, which is all good. I think that will be it. I think that's ultimately it. There is some zoning here that we could also get in. Just something a little extra. Yeah, boy. Something a little extra right there. Nice, 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 nice. Very, very walkable at this point. So, phase 1 of my bus routes complete, okay? That is now phase 1. So, we should see them dramatically change. We are now starting to see big numbers kicking in. This is exactly how I wanted it to go. But I also wanted to complement the train network. So, at the minute, all the bus routes do is grab everybody from the surrounding areas and pulls them into the station, and more importantly, pulls them into the train station. So into the bus station, into the train station, it's mainly pulling them in to the trains. And they can get on the train to hop to where they want to get to. But I also think it's important to go from station to station on buses as a cheaper alternative for them to get over here. Now, there's no vehicles. Is that because we've got now all the buses on here? What's the reason for this? Oh, is it my transportation budget? If I remember correctly, my transportation budget is... Yeah, I'm going to put this back to 100% now. And that should hopefully pull all the vehicles out. Let me fast forward. So that's dumping out a load of buses now as we speak. But is that enough? I think I've only got... Yeah, I've only got 5 left. Okay. Okay. I gotta be careful about my money at the same time, but it looks like we are making decent amounts of cash at the minute. Now, transportation, this is a tricky one because I'm never really going to make the profit. I do need to go and sort out all the prices for the tickets and whatnot. Now, is there traffic lights here? I think I might need to create like a dedicated turning lane here. So if I was to upgrade you like this, and then do the same is that fine just doing that? It moves them along a little bit more, right? Did I do the right road at the same time? I'm doing not a highway road, aren't I? I think we need to push it back slightly just to kind of get a bit more of a lineup. But that works. That works. Right, anywho, I'm getting sidetracked here, aren't I? I now need to set up the station to station route. So if you wanted to travel from Derby to Redwood, and you don't want to get on a train, you don't need to get on a train. You could do it bus. It would take you longer. Oh, okay, we've got power issues. It would take you longer, but it would technically be cheaper. Right? And I'm just going to make it go from station to station and then back again. That's literally all I'm making it do. Okay? It might be a bit inefficient, but they have a alternative option. Hold on. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe this is... Wait, can I end this route? No. Is there a length, like a max length that I can take them? Maybe I don't make them stop here. Because we've already got it on. Wait, is it still stopping here? I've already got it going here. So why don't I make it now come back and then finish up? Right. I'm not quite sure what was going on with that, but there we go. So bus line 7, we've only got 5 additional vehicles that we can have. So I'll utilize the 5 additional vehicles. So this bus line 7, we're going to call it our Woodville. We're going to call it the Woodville line. We'll call it the Woodville line, and we'll make it green. Does that stand out to all the other lines? Yes. Okay, okay. Very simple. Hopefully very effective, but most importantly, very, 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 very simple. So, they'll now pump out. We do have these power issues we've got to solve. And I know I said I was going to come away from the wind turbines, but I think I might place another one. Yeah. We'll do another one, and I think I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to drop one there, because they're 25,000 big ones, boys. They're expensive. But also, they're very cheap in comparison to all the other types of electricity. Right, that keeps me going. Very good, very good, very good. Is that enough now to power this area? Oh, no, the power issue is, because I upgraded the road, I've lost the power connection. That's what the issue is. Right, there we go. That's what the issue was. But then again, an extra wind turbine doesn't harm anybody. It doesn't harm anybody. Right, that's had a negative effect on my population because now people are moving out because they had no power for such a long time. Oh, no. Right, in the meantime then, should we do some more zoning? I think we should. So I won't start working on the outskirts of all of this until I've completed all the inner sections first. So let's get a few more people moved in, but also let's take a look at maybe building another office area. I think I'll do that first, but I think I might build it over here. So let's bring this here road out. Let's go rid of Anarchy right now. Let's go straight. Let's bring you out to there. And then I'm going to do a little bend. I'm going to end it just there. So from that, I'll have my little side streets coming out. Which should be pretty handy. There we go. We'll do another one just here. There we go. Bring that road down. I want to throw in some car parking if I can as well. And how does that look there? It looks a bit funky right now, but wait until I get my buildings in. So, car parking. I'm thinking we go with... Is that the solar panel covered ones, isn't it? Do they generate power for our, like, grid? I'm not too sure on that. I think we'll go with this one. We'll go with that one, and I'll place it just there. I'll charge 12 big ones on that, boys. 12 big ones. And we'll get some zoning down now for the offices. So, can we go to... Yeah. Go with you, go with you. So, if I remember correctly, these buildings, I can't do too big. It just physically will not allow me. So, I'll do a couple of little zonings here and there. Go there and there. I'm trying to chop and change between them. The demand is going to get spent pretty rapidly. So, we'll also throw in a couple of variants in the sizes of buildings. And then we'll do all the tree stuff and whatnot once that's kind of built up slightly. So we'll just kind of complement that area. I still need to build the bus route over here, by the way. But I've run out of buses to what I can physically use. So we'll hold out a minute. We'll hold out a minute. Now, would you say that solved my traffic issues? Because we're still getting the waves. It comes both directions. And like, you can argue in the morning it's on the way to work. And on the evening it's coming back home again. But do we need to upgrade or maybe add an additional train? So my public transportation lines, the percentage numbers on these are actually really good. This is 69%, so I reckon we squeeze in a third train at this point. Now, this is $15 to use it. I'm going to make the train ticket 10. And then I think all my bus routes should be 12. No. Bus is 10. Train 12. Because I said it was going to be cheaper to use the bus, but... Cheaper to use the bus. But quicker to use the train. And for the quickness comes an extra $2 they've got to pay. And then what I'll do is I'll make the car parks a bit more expensive, so it kind of tricks them into saying, oh my, how much is parking? It's cheaper to ride the train, or it's cheaper to get the bus. You know what I mean? I'll make this bus here 12 big ones as well. Right, so no new vehicle. I think we need to extend the bus thing. So we need an extra garage, which is an extra building I've got to place on. So I could theoretically squeeze it just there. But I need Anarchy to do that. And that gives us an extra 10 vehicles. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. Let's have it, boys. Let's have it. So, I'm going to charge 15 for parking. It's a shame I can't do like a blanket payment. Like it's a blanket $15 on all parking. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be so good if I could do that. It would save me a lot of hassle. Without having to manually go through it all. Or can you do it for like the whole area? So, roadside parking fee is charged in the roads. Oh! I could do that for the downtown area. Roadside parking fee. And that is $15. That will then hopefully stop people having vehicles in this area. Or if not, we're charging for the nose. Interesting. That's an interesting concept, isn't it? Interesting concept I haven't really kind of thought of, if I'm being honest with you. Right, so vehicles are heading way back right now. You could argue the traffic is not as bad. It's still there, but it's more flowing than it ever has done before. So that's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. Now, looking at this as well, they always want to do that little turn in, don't they? I mean, it's not that bad. I feel like we've dramatically improved. It's still there. Don't get me wrong, it's still there. But I feel like we have dramatically improved the traffic situation. Still there, but I feel like, we really have dramatically improved it. So we will have to keep a lookout on the bus routes, seeing what's being utilized the most. To see if we need to add, you know, an extra bus or two to them. Maybe increase the rate of arrival on some of these. You get the gist of it, right? You get the gist of it. Right, trees are now coming in. After all these have now been built up. And, oh, hang on, I can put some more zoning on this little section. Because it's offices, you don't really see the stress that you would normally get from a normal type of building, if that makes sense. For traffic on the main road. Oh, we're now a great town. And we just got 1.3 million. And we just unlocked the signature building at the same time. I've got to reevaluate my signature buildings and see what I've currently got available. So I just want to get the close quarter trees in first. And then we'll go for... Get rid of the anarchy. We'll plant the trees down like this ourselves. Right, nice. Nice little office area. I'll wait for the bus route. I'll wait for the bus route right now. It depends on how much traffic we see coming through here. But do you reckon... I was going to say, do you reckon it's time that I upgrade this junction? I don't think it makes any difference because it'll only just push the traffic onto the next junction that will need upgrading. Let's just try and solve them or try and aid the ability for them to not to utilize vehicles first. Right, so we've applied that that parking fee in this whole area. I don't know if you actually see the money being made from it. We're actually now losing quite a bit of cash. So, services on the old taxation. That money would come from roads, which comes from the fees here. Now, I could apply the parking fee in all the areas. In reality, that would kind of move them more towards a public transport kind of lifestyle. So I could apply it. We'll see what happens. We'll charge 15 big ones. And we'll do it in all the areas. Pure scamming, boys. But I'm trying to tell them right now. Yo, guys. Use public transport. Why spend $15 to park your car when you can spend $15 and ride a bus? Oh, but I've purposely made the car parking be more expensive than public transport, so it seems like a steal to ride the bus at that point. It feels like a steal, which we are seeing a lot of movement around the streets, aren't we? We are seeing people kind of now walking to and from the train station, so I suppose it has worked in many ways. It has worked. Right, okay. So I think the city is breathing in waves and when it makes money and loses money depending on what time of day. Which, completely understandable. I completely get it. We've placed down a load of new jobs spots down here, which is pretty good. Nice little kind of tech park there, it kind of feels like. Unemployment's still pretty high, so we'll have to kind of get in a few more jobs here and there. But I think we need to go back to looking at growing the wood industry. So maybe, do I get another paper factory down? Ooh, I don't quite know. What was the other one? Wasn't there another one? It was like a furniture factory? Or am I thinking of the other previous city skylines? Bookstores. We just unlocked those buildings, haven't we? We got the pub. The healthcare. What was that, sorry? Supermarket. UK petrol station is always a good one. Why not squeeze a UK petrol station down, boys? That provides 6 jobs. Damn. But yeah, look at the amount of vehicles right now. I could solve the roundabout. I can do like a flyover to make them speed through the junction with relative ease. Well, it will only push the issues onto the next junction. So you don't really win that much. It's more a case of making the public transport more attractive. So I'm just looking, is a 4th train gonna be needed? There's a train on the way down right now. Let me see this train. It's got 193 people on. 312 people now. As it now leaves. Adds a few more people onto it. I'm just seeing how these numbers change from station to station. And then they're mainly going outside of the region, aren't they? So I've also got to keep tabs on how many people are, waiting at the current bus stops. Because that would also determine whether I need to add more buses to those existing lines. So got to be wary of all that happening at the same time. I think now's okay because they're all on the way to work. But yeah, we still need to do something about these junctions. I think that roundabout is now slowing them down slightly. So we gotta keep our eyes peeled on that, boys. Gotta keep our eyes peeled on it. I don't think that's too bad then. I think that's gonna really help us out in the long run. I really do think it's gonna help us out. We'll see what happens. We are generating more fees on the roads now with the parking and all that kind of jazz. So that's turned out pretty well. Will we see less vehicles on the streets? Who knows? Who knows at this point? But there's lots of people now getting on and off the train. So they do find them pretty handy. Right, living here is not the greatest apparently. We've got an unreliable mail service. We have high crime risk, high taxes, which is understandable, unreliable internet services, high water fees, high electricity fees. Yes, we have all those. So let's now go back to basics in the next episode and look towards extending the industries. Maybe we start gearing ourselves up to being able to export goods via trains as we move into the wilderness and keep building up our wood industry. Because when it comes to exports, boys, when it comes to exports on this, the money... Actually, how do I see it right now? I go into taxation, industry, paper, timber. We need to place down a few more factories. But look at the wood exports. If I could double that, oh my goodness me. That would be glorious, which means more of these forestries we need to get in. A whole lot more right now. And I think we also need to maybe look at doing our own taxi companies here as well. That'll be a big thing moving forward. But anyway, guys, we will end it here. Next episode, we are going export crazy to generate more revenue. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.